Now, I'd like to introduce Kelly.
Hi, can you hear me okay? I am Kelly Lynette Peary. My trans name was Kenneth. I am a Christian, a woman, and a detransitioner. Before I was 3 years old, my mom remarried to a convicted pedophile. The household I lived in until I was 13 was a chaotic mix of drugs, alcohol, and abuse. My 20s and 30s were a repetitive cycle of drugs, alcohol, sobriety, relapse, which was repeated. In 2004, at 37 years of age, after a lifetime of feeling uncomfortable in my body, constantly feeling the predatory gaze of both men and women, I began a process of transitioning female to male. In 2004, I underwent full social transition, part of which was choosing my male name, Kenneth Logan Anderson. In 2005, I started taking testosterone. In 2006, I had a complete hysterectomy. In 2007, I underwent a psychiatric assessment to obtain approval for a bilateral mastectomy. In 2008, I underwent a bilateral mastectomy, after which I was able to and did legally change my sex marker and my name to Kenneth Logan Anderson. In 2010, I realized that many of the feelings I had felt prior to and through my transition were not fully explored. I also realized that transitioning did not help me in any of the ways I thought it might. I still felt uncomfortable in my body. While I had psychological support prior to my medical transition, they did not help me dig deeply into my distress, specifically how trauma impacted my level of distress about being a woman. And that is a decision that I will live with for the remainder of my life. I made this decision as an adult. I simply cannot understand how, if I, as a 37-year-old woman with a post-secondary education, wasn't ready to make such a life-altering decision, how can we possibly support, encourage, or allow our children to do so? The decision to medically transition has impacted me physiologically. I will have type 2 diabetes for the rest of my life. It has had lifelong impacts on my confidence and my self-esteem. This is simply not a decision we can expect children to make. I am the founder of Detrans Alliance Canada, an organization that was created to be a resource for people who are detrans, desisters, or regretters. As a detransitioner, I am a member of an ever-growing community of people who underwent gender transition, then later reverted back to our birth sex. The need for ethically based, comprehensive care for youth exploring their understanding of their self as a gendered being cannot be overemphasized. Today, Premier Smith will be putting forward legislation that is vital to preserving the rights for children to make informed adult decisions as adults. I am here today because I am proud to support these changes. Changes that specifically outline the boundaries and safety measures to ensure children and youth will be insulated from irreversible surgical alterations and life-altering pharmaceutical interventions prior to their obtaining the degree of physiological maturity necessary to understand how these interventions will impact their future. I believe the measures proposed will provide a nurturing environment in which youth are safe to question and explore aspects of their personality which are both congruent and not congruent with the social roles assigned members of their biological sex. Proper healthcare models, such as what Premier Smith has proposed, are grounded in a scientific atmosphere in which evidence-based practices are the standard and rigorous scientific debate is encouraged. These changes support a healthcare system that values diversity, autonomy, and dignity, and seeks to provide support services uniquely tailored to address a minor's understanding of long-term implications of the interventions being offered. I firmly believe the policies Premier Smith has proposed will empower youth to make incremental decisions as they progress along their path to self-discovery. Let me be clear. While transitioning was the wrong decision for me and something I came to deeply regret, I support transgendered men and women and their ability to make decisions for themselves as adults with access to comprehensive information, adequate mental health, and physical health supports. In conclusion, as a detransitioner, I care deeply about the health and well-being of gender non-conforming and gender questioning youth. And I want to thank Premier Smith for the courage she has displayed in setting into place policies and practices to ensure that young Albertans receive the safest and most effective care possible. Thank you.
Please.
Next caller is Mike Campbell from the Counter Signal. Please go ahead.
Hi there. Thank you for taking my question. Have you consulted with any detransitioned men or women as young adults who highly regret being given hormone blockers when they were young and confused? And if so, can you speak to how that impacted your decision?
Kelly, do you want to comment on that?
Sure. Through Detrans Alliance Canada, I've had several young detransitioners reach out to me. What has impacted them the most was when they began to talk about desistance. They were told they were simply struggling with internalized transphobia. And the one young girl went ahead and had a bilateral mastectomy at 17. And after that, she realized that it did not address her mental health issues. And when she insisted with her doctor that transitioning had not helped her, her doctor refused to see her again. Her counselor terminated therapy, and the LGBT two-spirit support group she had been in banned her as hateful and harmful. And I think that's unacceptable. And that's what I have to say. Thank you.